Hello there friends, welcome to my video channels. Don't forget subscribe and like. Let's go to today's story.
Real life case. It's straight from a detective's playbook.
Right, a story where the truth was hiding, really, in plain sight, disguised as something completely natural.
Exactly. And our mission here, what we want to explore is how a sharp mind and, a really keen eye for the smallest details can unravel something incredibly complex.
It's a perfect example of why first impressions can be so misleading in investigations. You have to look deeper.
So let's picture it. You have Detective Miles Corbin. His gut instinct, apparently, was just as sharp as his wit. He arrives at the scene.
And the scene is, well, it's the late Professor Alistair Finch's study. Incredibly fancy, but eerily quiet.
Yeah, the description says the air smelled of old books and weirdly like static electricity. You know, that ozone smell?
Unusual. Adds to the atmosphere.
Professor Finch himself, he was a big shot in space research, found dead, face down on his desk.
And he's clutching this perfect round meteorite, a space rock.
Right, so initial verdict, heart attack. Seems pretty open and shut.
But Corbin, his detective's intuition, that little voice, it was apparently screaming that something was wrong.
That's the intriguing part, isn't it? When logic says one thing, but instinct says another?
Absolutely. And it's about how an investigator processes those subtle feelings, those inconsistencies. Corbin wasn't just looking, he was sensing the environment. That static smell, for instance.
Right, it's not just about what's obviously broken or missing. Sometimes it's subtle, things that are just slightly off.
Exactly. He's checking the scene story, not just listing objects.
And the room, visually, it looked untouched. No forced entry, no obvious signs of a struggle. Nothing seemed out of place.
Looked clean.
But Corbin, he's methodical, pacing, observing, and then she notices something small but crucial.
What was it?
The professor's wrist, it was bare, his watch, gone.
Ah, the absence of something. That's often harder to spot than something being there.
You got it. His partner, apparently, just shrugged it off. Maybe he took it off.
Easy assumption to make.
But Corbin fixated on it. Why was it missing now? It's that focus on the lack of something expected. Sometimes the loudest clue is silence or absence.
That's a great point. We often scan for additions, not subtractions.
And then he spots it, tiny, almost invisible apparently. A little half-moon scratch on the polished wood of the desk,
Okay.
right where you'd expect a watch buckle to be, maybe if it was pulled off forcefully.
Ah, so not just missing, but potentially removed violently. That's the aha moment.
That's it. The first little crack in that perfect facade of natural death. So what does this tiny scratch mean?
It means everything, potentially.
Hmm.
It shifts the whole perspective.
Exactly. We're about to find out how this missing watch, this faint scratch, started to tell a very different story. A hidden crime story.
Leading him down a rabbit hole, you said. Surprising facts, strange habits.
And even some out-of-this-world secrets. Literally.
Okay, I'm hooked. That scratch is the physical anchor for his intuition, isn't it?
Precisely. It moved the case from maybe medical event to potential struggle. Small detail, huge implication. Proof the scene wasn't quite so peaceful.
So where did he go from there? Did he find the watch?
Not immediately. First, he dug into the professor's life. Found out Finch was a huge watch guy, a horology enthusiast, collected vintage timepieces.
Okay, interesting hobby. Relevant.
Very. Because he uncovered this peculiar daily ritual Finch had.
A ritual.
Yeah. Every single day at precisely 3 p.m., Finch would synchronize his most prized watch, a rare 19th century automatic with the atomic clock in Greenwich.
Wow. The atomic clock, that's specific.
He apparently saw it as like connecting with the universe's timing or something, linking his historical timepiece to ultimate precision.
Okay, that's more than just quirky. That's a highly predictable action. Every day, same time.
Exactly. For someone in space research, maybe precision was everything, but critically, like you said, it creates a window, a moment of predictable vulnerability.
Anyone watching him would know exactly when he'd be occupied with that specific task.
Right. So Corbin, armed with this, goes straight back to the study, desk again. But this time, magnifying glass, focusing right on that scratch, and he finds it. A tiny speck. Looks like metallic dust. Carefully bags it. Hopes it's the confirmation he needs.
Forensics time. This is where science meets intuition.
You bet. And the lab report. Revelatory, apparently. That dust wasn't just any metal.
What was it?
It was a unique alloy, specific stuff, the kind used in high-precision parts for antique chronometers. You know, those super accurate old clocks for navigation or astronomy.
Okay, so the dust links directly to a high-end old watch, like the professor's missing one. That's strong.
But wait, there's more. The analysis found something else in that dust, even more surprising.
What else could there be?
Get this, traces of unique isotopes, the kind specifically associated with extraterrestrial materials.
You mean like the meteorite?
Exactly, like the meteorite he was found clutching.
Whoa. So the dust had traces from both the watch and the meteorite.
Yes, it confirms Corbin's theory. The professor wasn't just holding the meteorite as a keepsake, he was fighting for it. Someone else knew how valuable it was.
Okay, now it's all clicking into place. The struggle, the timing.
So connecting the dots,
Hmm.
the professor, in his final moments, was desperately trying to keep hold of that meteorite. It was the target.
And the attacker, who was it?
Turned out to be his disgruntled former assistant, someone who'd figured out the meteorite's real secrets, its extraordinary value.
And the assistant knew about the 3 p.m. ritual.
Knew the routine. Planned to grab the meteorite during that window, but Finch fought back harder than expected.
Leading to the struggle.
The struggle right at that moment, 3 p.m., watch gets ripped off, leaves the scratch, scatters that unique mix of metal dust and meteorite traces onto the watch itself.
So the heart attack. It wasn't the cause of death in the legal sense. It was a consequence of the struggle.
Exactly. A tragic side effect of the fight, triggered by the assault, not just a random medical event.
And the missing watch becomes the key piece of evidence.
Miles figured the thief wouldn't understand its full significance, maybe just the gold value or something, and would try to pawn it.
Makes sense. You wouldn't keep something that potentially ties you to a crime scene if you didn't grasp its unique forensic value.
And that's exactly what happened. Weeks later, pawn shop owner, quiet part of London, reports something odd.
What does you report?
A nervous guy trying to sell an antique chronometer. But the pawnbroker noticed something. The casing was distinctively heavy and almost luminescent, glowing slightly.
Glowing from the meteorite traces.
Must have been. The pawnbroker was sharp, noticed the seller's agitation and this faint, weird glow. That watch.
With its unique metal dust, the radioactive traces became the smoking gun.
Undeniable proof. Professor Finch didn't just die, he was murdered.
Wow, so what started as a simple heart attack case? Completely unraveled.
All because a detective refused to ignore those tiny whispers of evidence. The scratch, the missing watch.
And Corbin's genius was connecting those seemingly unrelated things, right? The ritual, the specific metal dust, the radioactive signature from the meteorite, weaving it all together.
Absolutely. It wasn't just finding clues, it was understanding the narrative they formed.
You know, if we step back, this case really highlights the power of, let's call it holistic observation. Every detail matters, however small or weird it seems initially.
Like that static smell, even.
Exactly. Trusting your gut, but then rigorously backing it up with facts, finding those subtle patterns.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? In our world, we're just flooded with information all the time. How often do we just overlook the small stuff?
The unassuming details that might actually hold the key to understanding something much bigger, much more profound.
Yeah. This whole deep dive into the Chronos Conundrum, it's a reminder that sometimes the quietest clues, the quietest stories, they actually speak the loudest, if you're willing to listen closely.
So the question for you listening now is, what seemingly insignificant details are you noticing today? What might they unlock if you took a moment for your own deep dives?